Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how the INT Demon King, well not Demon King, but the INT Piccolo Jr. Giant form performs in the red zone. And specifically we're going to take him into the Metal Cooler red zone. Now this is a 55% Piccolo. So this is Piccolo basically at his lowest level of strength, and yeah, honestly speaking, to be honest with you, he does very impressive. You must understand that when evaluating red zone, sometimes it's interesting to see how units do in disadvantaged situations. An example is I took Gogeta, the Super Saiyan transforming Gogeta, and I put him in the Broly event. The reasoning behind this was Gogeta's evasion is very strong. It's something he relies on a lot. So I wanted to see how he'd do in an event without evasion, and to see if that would, change how we look at him. And he did fine. After a couple stacks, his defense was high enough. Yes, a super would have definitely done a huge amount of damage, if not outright killed us, but he still did an excellent job. He brought damage, he had significant defense, and so with Piccolo it's kind of a similar concept. It's okay, let's see how this unit does in his worst case situation. His worst case situation is facing a physical type unit, not just any physical type unit, the strongest physical enemy in the game. So it's interesting. It's definitely something that I wanted to look at. It's something that I think you have to look at in a sense, but it's also something that isn't for every unit. Like sometimes you just want to showcase a unit in their strongest position because they're not a unit that's capable of doing their weakest one, if that makes sense. But you still want to showcase that they are capable of doing red zone content. But in Piccolo's situation, Piccolo can do plenty red zone content. Not only is his team strong, he's got access to the whole terrifying conquerors mechanism going on here, but he himself is very strong. Like, he himself is an incredibly powerful unit. So it's interesting. We're gonna see just how good he is. Personally speaking, I think it's excellent. His level of strength, I think, is fantastic. I think he's an incredibly solid unit, and I think he does an excellent job across the board in being a very good damage carry and exceptionally solid in the form of defense. So yeah, just basically to get a good idea of how Piccolo does, decided to bring him here. Now obviously we'll just talk through Piccolo a little bit, just to kind of recap some of his details, although super duper briefly. So Piccolo, I'm sure as people can imagine, probably one of the top 2 TURs in the game right now. Him and Tech Goku can interchange their position. I don't think there's an outright one between the two of them. I think Piccolo is definitely far superior, offensively, and I think Goku's incredibly strong defensively. But Piccolo's great. From leader skill, terrifying conquerors, giant form, gifted warriors. The 30% for Battle of Fate and World Tournaments, a bit okayish, but it's not too bad. He raises attack for 1 turn, has a chance of stunning on his super, that's all great. He activates the entrance animation once only, has a high chance of launching an additional super for 1 turn from the start of turn, and he has Ki +2 and attack and defense of 101% for 5 turns from the start of turn. He has Ki +3 and attack and defense of 150%. He also has an additional attack and defense of 20% for each super attack performed up to 100%, and he has attacks effect against all types when facing only one enemy. Medium chance of launching an additional super attack plus an additional attack and defense of 60% within the same turn after receiving an attack, and an additional attack and defense of 100% to all enemies minus 30% attack and defense as the first attacker in a turn. This has an additional attack and defense of 100% when performing a super attack, and a high chance of launching an additional super as the second or third attacker in the turn. He also turns into giant form when conditions are met. Those conditions are when HP is 60% or below, starting from the 4th turn of battle, and you can see here that occurring as we speak. So firstly, this is great. This is just free damage, and it's always pretty cool to get free damage. His giant form has attacks effective against all types, with a high chance to perform a crit. Also has Ki +3, so it makes getting that super attack a little bit easier, considering you don't link up between the two of them. His giant form can actually last quite long because it's a passive based giant form. It can actually last like 2 or 3 turns, especially if you run a Tapion lead, then he can be in giant form for like forever, basically. So yeah, really cool stuff. Piccolo, as you can tell from his passive, I'm sure, an absolutely exceptional unit that does a huge amount of things. Like just a undauntingly huge amount of things. Additional attacks effective against all types, debuffing the enemy, stunning, gaining defense when being hit. He's just really solid. And his ability to transform, his ability to do all this free extra damage, his the ability for it to give you a turn's grace to potentially eliminate enemies, his active skill, which interrupts and causes good damage and is an AoE as well. There's like a lot that's just really solid about him, and so it makes it so it's just very favorable to use him. Now link wise, obviously he doesn't link the best with all the other units. He's not like the best. He's not the best linking partner in existence. It's not like he absolutely decimates or like absolutely slams like all the other units, but he definitely, to cut a long story short, he definitely can make do with the links he has. He's got the crucial ones, Thirst for Conquest, big bad bosses, which I think is very important. So you can see here, 7 mil attack stats, pretty good, and he's going to do multiple super attacks, which is, well, no, he's not actually, he's only going to do one, but he takes single digits with no items, so that's pretty good. So like I said, all things considered, Piccolo is pretty good for an int unit to take no damage. Is relatively solid, like relatively is really good. So his general performance is quite good, and he's a good damage dealer. Now I've seen after a couple supers, he's able to actually take a super attack from Metal Cooler, and this is obviously crazy, but this is also a rainbow one with level 10 links, so it is a little bit dependent, but yeah, for me at least, when I look at Piccolo, I see a very strong, very capable unit. So very impressed overall with his performance, just impressed in general with Piccolo. And yeah, I think honestly speaking, he's just really good, and I really have enjoyed using him as a friend. It's a bit of a shame that I don't have him, because I do think having him enables you to do a much more interesting team under his leader skill than not having him. But I think at the end of the day, the team is all fine, and I think it's a fun team. Like, it's a very strong, very fun team, and I think Piccolo is a very strong, very good unit that does a great job in that team. So yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. I'd love to hear what you guys have in terms of your opinion on him. I think he does a really good job, and I think, at least for me, I would say he's definitely in the top two or three. I don't like to really do rankings too often, but I definitely think he's in that ballpark, and I think definitely vying between 1 and 2. So yeah, that's basically gonna be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, and I'll see you guys at the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and bye.